Hi, I'm Jamie Gilson, and today I'm going to walk you through how to create an effective LinkedIn profile. But before we get into building your profile, I want to answer one helpful question. What exactly is LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is a professional networking website where you begin to develop an online presence. It is also a tool where you can gain insight and access into different opportunities within your field. Now, you might be asking yourself the question, is LinkedIn a resource that I should be on? And here's the answer, yes. LinkedIn is definitely a resource that you need to be on. And here's the why. Currently, there are over 630 million users that are on LinkedIn and 14 million jobs that are available for you to apply for. There are also 35.5 million people who have received jobs because of a connection off of LinkedIn. And lastly, over 90% of recruiters use LinkedIn to vet their candidates. And what does that even mean? Vetting candidates means that a recruiter on LinkedIn is searching for a certain skill, education, or experience that they want for their position. And so this is why you want to make sure that your LinkedIn is updated and you're constantly on it so you don't miss out on those opportunities that recruiters are looking for. Now, right before we get into building your profile, I want to give you 3 easy steps to make sure that your LinkedIn is strong and it is effective. So here's phase 1. Phase 1 is kind of obvious. You got to build the profile, right? You have to put in all of your experience, all of your education, those skills. You want to make sure that those are updated. Second phase is you have to connect. Connect with staff members, faculty, students that are in your classes, your friends. And then if you still aren't sure where to connect with, CBU alumni is a great place to start. But really build your connections and your network. And phase 3 is executing your strategy. So this is the time where you get to start applying for jobs. This is the time where you start to network with different employers that are on LinkedIn. And you just keep doing this until you have the job that you want. So now we're going to hop over to LinkedIn and I'm going to walk you through a profile so you know how to build it and how to make sure that you are really strong on LinkedIn. Now that we are on LinkedIn, I'm going to walk you through first your profile picture. And so as you can see from my profile picture, it's very professional, it's just from the waist up, and it has a very clean background. Now, this isn't the time to post your latest selfie, or maybe you were with a group of friends and then you cropped yourself out of the picture, or even a picture from a few years ago. But you want to make sure that 1, your profile picture is updated, and 2, that it looks very professional. Profile picture, we are now going to go to the header photo. And as you can see, my header photo is very professional and it's just very neat. And so within your header photo, know that if you wanted to have something more specific towards the career that you are going into, you're more than welcome to. I've seen nurses have maybe a stethoscope or an operating room, and engineers have a car if that's relevant to the type of engineering that they're going into. But the main thing is that you want it to be professional. This isn't the time where you're going to show off your newest family photo from Thanksgiving or, once again, a group of your friends. But you want it to be professional without any people in it. We are going to go to the headline. And so the headline for me is Career Counselor at California Baptist University. Now, I'm not looking for a job, but as a student, you may be. And so what I would be putting is something to show that you are seeking or looking for different opportunities. So an example could be marketing student seeking opportunities within sales. It's giving a little bit about you. It's showing your major. It's also showing what opportunities that you would want. I'd really refrain from doing student at California Baptist University. It's kind of vague and doesn't really show anything about you, so make sure that it's a little bit specific about you. Now we are going to scroll down to the About section. So within the About section, you really want to focus on your experience, your skills, and ultimately where you end up going. And so I'm going to read you mine, and then we're going to talk about it. I'm a solution-minded, results-driven professional committed to equipping both individuals and teams with the most applicable and strategic tools for success. In my current role, I assist students by offering career guidance and professional growth as they prepare to graduate. In addition to career counseling, I'm an integral collaborator supporting the development of strong university-employer relationships. As I currently graduated with my master's in industrial organizational psychology, I look forward to utilizing both my current experiences as well as my expertise in problem solving, consulting, and coaching to create a strong partnership and to contribute to the growth of an organization. Now, as you can see, I graduated with my master's in industrial organizational psychology. And what that is it's the study of people at work. A lot of the times we're going into organizations, helping them with what they have wrong, and really giving them steps to improve. And so I have used key terminology to go hand in hand with my degree. Solution-minded, results-driven, problem-solving, consulting, and coaching. And so I really encourage you that you are using keywords to really show the career that you want to go into. So adaptable. I probably would want to hear that if you're in nursing. I'd probably want to hear that you're solution-minded if you're in engineering. So really find those key terminologies that are within your field. Now that we're through with the about section, we're now going to move to the experience. And what you may have noticed is that my experience is in a paragraph and not bullet point form like we instruct you to do within your resume. And that's exactly what you want to do on LinkedIn. You have this space, so utilize it to really elaborate on your experience. I've also utilized personal pronouns, and so know that you can do that, but use it in a very professional and mature way. I'm not saying I counsel students and then I instruct students, but I'm using it for the benefit of the paragraph. You are all in college, so I know that you all know how to write well, and so this is a time to show off your writing skills. So make sure there aren't any spelling errors, make sure it's all grammatically correct, and really shows how smart and how well you've worked for your education. So as we scroll through my experience, you're going to see every position that I've done. Now, I was a resident advisor in college, as you can see down here, and it only has about 3 to 4 sentences. But when you compare it to my career counselor, my current role, it's a lot longer. And so know that you have that capability to do that. You don't have to have a full-on paragraph for each position that you've been a part of. But what I would encourage you to do is for each job, you have a few sentences. Make sure that you just don't have one line explaining what you have done. Now that we're through with the experience, we're going to move down to the education. So you'll be able to see that I have my master's and my undergrad, but more importantly, you'll see that I wrote the entire degree out. Master of Science in Industrial Organizational Psychology. So don't abbreviate it or don't just say business, but write it completely out. You'll also see for my undergrad that I've included activities and societies that I was a part of. So I've included resident advisor here, even though I already talked about that in my experience. And the reason why is that an employer would be able to see quickly all of the activities I was involved in within college. Then you're also going to see that I was involved in choir. And so if you're in a club, you're more than welcome to put that. If you have been on the president or the provost list, you can definitely include that. You really only need your undergrad, and then if you're in your master's education. This isn't the time to put your high school, definitely not your middle school, but make sure that it looks professional and that you have the entire degree written out. I'm going to move down to the volunteer experience. And so I went on ISP, but instead of just saying International Service Team Member, I've put Kazakhstan Team Member to really highlight that I went overseas. And here's the why. Employers are constantly asking us, what are your students doing about diversity and inclusion? Are they willing to work with other cultures? And so this is going to be really helpful for you if you've done any overseas projects that you can really highlight that different culture that you worked with. This also is helpful to show that if you've been a part of different experiences, whether that's different community involvement, it kind of separates it a little bit and highlights it. So make sure that you have your volunteer experience on there. Now on to skills and endorsements. So on LinkedIn, you can definitely go skills crazy. So add a lot of skills that are relevant to you and the field that you're going into. So you'll see that I've included leadership, results driven, and training. So none of those are the technical skills like we instruct you to only have on your resume. But something else that you'll notice is this little 17 next to the leadership, and that's because 17 people have endorsed me because they have seen me be a leader. And so that's going to really help your profile grow, but be mindful within that Christian Hassler endorsed me for leadership, and that's because he worked with me when I was a student leader, so he was able to see that skill in me. But let's say he never did. He never saw me be a leader, but he endorsed me. I would be really careful about that because at any time an employer could go on my profile, see that Christian endorsed me for leadership, might contact Christian to say, hey, have you seen Jamie be a leader? And if he says no, then they're going to think that I'm lying. And so be mindful that your skills are applicable to you. You're not just saying all of these skills because you want to be good at those, but you actually have. And then when people endorse you, make sure that they're being honest. And do the same for you as well. When you're endorsing other people, make sure that you're endorsing them because you've actually seen that skill or that trait in them, but you're not just endorsing them to be kind. Now we're going to move on to accomplishments. And so you can add a bunch of different objects and items in this category, but one thing that I have added is a project. So in my master's program, we had to consult with different companies every semester, and so I was able to put that. So I just gave an overview on the main topics that we worked with and the companies that we worked with so an employer could see that. And so definitely utilize this project section for your advantage. Now, as a freshman in English 1-2-3, using a project just to write a research paper, I probably wouldn't put it on there, especially if it's not applicable into the field that you're going into. But as engineering students that are going into their projects, you could definitely put that in there. Nursing students within their 6th semester, definitely put the leadership project that you are in. And so have this be applicable to the field that you are going into. And the last thing on your profile is going to be your interests. And interests are any companies that you are interested in working for or that just really interest you. And so you can just quickly hit follow when you research them and when you search for them in your little search bar up here. But what I would really encourage you to do is make sure that you are following any company that you are interested in, but most importantly, any company that you are applying for. And so right before you hit that submit button, I would make sure that you are following the company. And here's the reason why. Is when recruiters are looking at your profile to see if they want to hire you, they can actually see if you've marked their company as an interest. And so why would they want to hire you if you haven't marked them as an interest? And so be mindful that you are doing that right before you start applying for that position. When you mark them as an interest, it actually helps you learn more about their company because what's going to happen is once you mark them as an interest and you go to your home page, it will automatically start filtering things that, let's say, NASA starts posting. So then I'm going to start learning about relevant information and what the company is doing when they post it on LinkedIn, which will then help you within research when you go into an interview. Now that you're done building your profile, you might be asking yourself the question, well, now how do I see jobs that are really jobs that I want? And so if you scroll all the way to the top of your profile and you hit open to job opportunities, now what you're going to start seeing is different job titles and locations that I have typed in that are job titles that I would want if I ever started looking for jobs. And so you can just easily hit add title and click and start typing any relevant jobs that are applicable to you. You can also put in as many job locations as you would like. So maybe you are a first semester senior and you're currently at Riverside because of CBU, but you live in Texas and you want to work in Texas. So then you could change your job locations to Texas so you start seeing those positions even though you haven't moved there yet. The other thing is that you can put in what type of job type you're looking for and also if you're working remotely. Now, maybe when I started talking about the headline at the beginning where it says marketing intern seeking full-time opportunities within sales, you got a little nervous because you don't want your employer to know that you're looking for jobs. Well, that's totally okay. One way that they won't be able to see if you're looking for jobs is if you just put that you are open to jobs only for recruiters. This is another opportunity to kind of wave your little hand at recruiters saying, hey, I'm hiring, but your employer won't know that. But update this, especially your job titles. As you're looking at different jobs, if you see different titles that you are really interested in, go ahead and add that because then you are going to see those jobs available to you. The next thing to really help get your name out there is the different activity that you do. Now, one thing I really want to warn you about is anything that you like, comment, or post, everybody that follows you is going to be able to see it. So this video actually right here is a great example. It's about 15 stages of workday told by dogs. And yes, it's professional, but it really doesn't represent me as a career counselor. But all I was simply doing was tagging someone in it so she could see the video. And so these are probably videos I constantly wouldn't have on LinkedIn. But let me show you a positive thing that you could be posting. So if I went to my posts and I scrolled down just a little bit, I'd be able to see this picture. Well, if you were able to read the description, you would learn that my cohort within my master's program consulted with Stater Brothers about retention and really helping their organization take improvements. One, that's relevant to my master's program, and two, it's just an accomplishment that we were able to do. And so those are things that you're going to want to be posting on your LinkedIn. So if you've presented a project that's related to the field you're going into, definitely go ahead and post that. If you're a club president, you could post how you were at the club day. So things that are definitely relevant to you. So refrain from those dog photos, but make sure that they are really professional. So now I'm done walking you through how to build your profile. But right before we go into finding different connections, I want to show you a student view profile because that's probably going to be a little bit more applicable for most of you. So Charlotte is a marketing student, so as you can see, marketing leader seeking full-time opportunities. But what I really want to hone in on is the word leader. So she even went above and beyond, saying instead of saying student, she said leader. And so utilize those words to really boost your headline. She has all of her experience explained out. She also has her education. Charlotte has licenses and certifications, and so she's added those on there. So for example, if you're a nursing student, definitely go put all of your certifications that are on there. She's had her volunteer experience and her skills and endorsements. But Charlotte has even gone above and beyond and has recommendations. And so her recommendations are from her previous bosses. And so know that you could do that. I could recommend Charlotte or I could ask her for a recommendation. So this might be helpful for bosses you left on good terms with if you're no longer working there or anyone that's really professional. But be mindful because everyone can see the recommendation that Teresa wrote about Charlotte, and so make sure that it's professional and applicable. Charlotte has also added her accomplishments, so she's added her honors and awards. She's also added her courses, and so you are more than welcome to do that. But what I really want to hone in on Charlotte's profile is her About section, because she doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but she's really given a strong overview of exactly what she has done. I'm a dual citizen with a background in customer-facing roles and a natural drive to problem solve. Using my growing understanding of various technologies such as HubSpot and WordPress, I have provided solutions to improve the usability of several company assets. In my current role, I provide on-site support to both employers and students, quickly building relationships and addressing any needs as they arise. Creating connections is something I thrive in when given the opportunity. Upon receiving my degree at California Baptist University, my desire is to work in a customer-centric environment in which I can utilize my abilities to quickly learn and implement new technologies, as well as creatively add value in my role and organization. Charlotte has done an excellent job giving an overview within her experience, but then has included relevant technologies to help her with any marketing role that she's in. So don't use the excuse that because you're a student and you don't have a whole lot of experience, your LinkedIn can't be strong. Because we're looking at a student whose LinkedIn is really strong. Now that we are done building your profile, let's go to My Network up at the top. So this is where you're going to really start connecting. And so if I was to scroll down, LinkedIn is automatically going to start posting people that they think you might know because of the university or because of different experiences that you've had. Now, be mindful you're not just hitting connect because they all went to CBU, but make sure that you actually know them. And so Jacob, I know. So I'm going to hit connect, and now it will say pending. And so be mindful, you just have to wait for them, but make sure that you know who they are. Don't have it be a stranger. Don't have it just be, oh, maybe I would know them one day, but I don't really. But this is where you want to connect with students, staff, faculty, and then even CBU alumni. But you might be asking yourself, how do I find CBU alumni? And so what you can do is go to this search bar and then click on California Baptist University. On the left-hand side, it will say alumni. And so now I'm able to see all different alumni that have gone to CBU. But maybe I'm scrolling through this and I'm like, I would love to work at Microsoft, but I'm not really seeing anybody that works at Microsoft. So here in the search bar, I'm going to type in Microsoft. And I'm going to scroll down and I immediately start seeing alumni who have worked in Microsoft. So then what I could do is I could message Samantha and say, I am a current engineering student about to graduate from California Baptist University, and I would love to learn about Microsoft. Is there a time where we could connect and you could tell me a little bit more about Microsoft? So this is a really good way to start building your network with CBU alumni, especially because they've been in the field for a little bit longer. So now you're really gaining insight on what that experience really looks like now from the transition of being a student to an employee. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is as you go to career fairs that are hosted by our Career Center, the employers that you meet at those career fairs, connect with them on LinkedIn afterwards. And then you have the capability of sending them a message. And so then you can just send them a quick message. Hey, thank you so much for coming to the CBU Career Fair. It was great to learn about the different opportunities. I'm really excited to connect with you in the future and see where this could lead. So something really professional, something that's created on your own, and just once again kind of reintroduces yourself to them. So that was phase 2, connecting. Make sure you're constantly building your network over and over again. The next portion is going into jobs and really seeing how can you apply for jobs. So if you scroll down, you're going to start seeing, based on my profile, LinkedIn automatically posts jobs that are relevant to my skill set, my education, and my preferences. But maybe you're looking at this and you're like, you know what? I don't really see any jobs that I'm liking. I would really love to work for Walt Disney. And so I'm going to see what type of positions do they have for Walt Disney. So I'm going to type in here, Walt Disney. And I would love to work with an HR. So I'm going to click on HR Business Partner. And so I'm going to see, okay, this is going to be in Burbank. Perfect. Not too far from my commute. I'm going to see that there are currently 25 applications, a little bit about their company, and I'm also going to see these connections. And so currently I have 4 connections of people that work at Walt Disney. So this is once again why you want to make sure that your connections give a well-rounded knowledge of who you know, but also make sure you know them. Because at any time I could message Mia because I know her and say, hey Mia, I know that you're currently working with Walt Disney. I'm also interested in working within Walt Disney. Is there a time that we could connect where I could kind of pick your brain on good strategies to apply for Walt Disney? I'm also going to learn about this posting is a little bit about the job, the requirements, what they want for an education. I'm also going to learn that it's full-time, the different functions that I would be doing, the industry that I would be working for. And then I can also start seeing the skills that they may be wanting. And so this is really helpful to know that the ones that are in white, I haven't marked. And so I actually know Microsoft Excel. So what I would encourage you to do is go back to your profile and mark off Microsoft Excel. So it really starts showing well-rounded skills that you're applying for. So I wouldn't miss out on this job just because I don't know Excel. So you just keep scrolling. Now you're going to see posts that are about Walt Disney that they are posting. But what's really helpful about LinkedIn is I can scroll all the way to the top and then hit apply. So you don't have to go to another website to look for the job and apply through there, but you can apply just strictly through there. After you apply, I highly recommend that you write down the position that you applied for, where you found it, so it keeps you organized. So then in a few days, you follow up with Walt Disney, contact their hiring manager and say, I applied through LinkedIn. Is there anything else that you need from me? Take that initiative to really show those employers what you're looking for and that you want that job. So there you have it. That's how to create an effective LinkedIn profile. Know that the Career Center is here for you to look over your LinkedIn profiles. And so we do that in a couple of ways. One is you can go to calbaptist.joinhandshake.com to make a LinkedIn review appointment to see a counselor in person. The other option that you can do is every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. we have walk-in hours. And so bring your LinkedIn on in and we can give you personal revisions on your LinkedIn. I hope you enjoyed this and learned a little bit more about how to create an effective LinkedIn profile, and the Career Center can't wait to work with you. Have a great day.